with this special podcast where I'll be interviewing the right worthy County Grandmasters of Scotland regarding their up-and-coming Boyne celebrations. So whether you're a member or just someone with a local interest in what we do, I hope you'll find this informative and what it takes to organise a Boyne celebration in Scotland. Thank you. Hello and welcome to this special podcast where I'm joined by the most worthy Grandmaster, Brother Andrew Murray, and the right worthy County Grandmaster, Brother Mark Kitland. And we're here basically to discuss the up-and-coming Boyne celebrations in Glasgow. Firstly, Mark, just give us a bit of background to yourself. What's your involvement in terms of the process and your team's process in organising the Boyne celebrations?
First of all, David, I'd like to thank the Grand LOIS for giving me the opportunity to come along here tonight to talk for and on behalf of the County Grand LOIS of Glasgow. We're slightly different to the other three counties. We hold our main Boyne parade within Glasgow City, and we start as soon as our parade's finished. We have a debrief at the end of July, and then we meet the police roughly 2 or 3 times a month, building up to June. We meet Police Scotland, we meet Glasgow City Council, and we cover East Renfrewshire, South Lanarkshire, North Lanarkshire and West Dunbartonshire within the County Grand LOIS of Glasgow. I've got to be honest this year and say there's been a tremendous change in the attitude both within Glasgow City Council and within Police Scotland, and I honestly think that that is with the great work that's been done behind the scenes from the Grand LOIS of Scotland. I know you guys have been at Tullyallen on a regular basis speaking to senior policemen, but I notice there's been a tremendous change in the attitude toward the police. And saying that, Govan, we all know Nelson Street Bridge has been a contentious point. This year the police are allowing the bands, the lodges and the members, the public, to go under the bridge. And I thank Grand LOIS for all the hard work that they've done behind the scenes to help us to accomplish this.
I mean, we know, Andy, that there's a lot of work being done, certainly in Glasgow, in terms of the amount of effort that we've put into the kind of marshalling process and sitting down with the Centre for Good Relations and Police Scotland, who have felt that in certain areas within the city there's always been issues. But I think the marshalling, we've got 437 marshals now trained. That's going to stand us in good stead moving forward, and Police Scotland have been very, very supportive over that, haven't they?
I think I must say certified marshals with qualifications now, and it was all just to address the issues that Police Scotland addressed with regards to cost and the policing of our parades across Scotland itself, and particularly in Glasgow. And I think that's what the County Grand Master will say. Most of the challenges do come from is Glasgow. The other 3 counties relatively get away fairly easy, but most of the challenges come from Glasgow. And I think the professionalism that's shone through on the marshalling itself, it's been fantastic. I think even just looking year on year, you're looking at the standards that's been raised by this professional training that's been given. It's only going to stand us in good stead moving forward as we urge Police Scotland and the local authorities and key stakeholders to reduce the policing even further, to take that burden off the public purse string, and allow us to marshal our own parades is more key and more important to us.
Yeah. And credit to all the individuals that have attended these marshals training sessions, because it is a full day, and we have noticed, and the comments from Police Scotland have been excellent in terms of how we're moving forward with that. Can I just ask Brother Kitland what the numbers are looking like in terms of the participants and the bands for the Boyne celebration?
As you know, the 4 counties, 2 walk 1 weekend. This year, myself and Central are walking the first Saturday in July. We're looking at 3,250 members. That's what we've notified the police in what's known as the Possession Management Plan, which is a 80-page document we've got to produce. We've got 42 bands this year, 17 from Northern Ireland, which is going to give us roughly 1,300 band personnel. So 4,500 to 5,000 walking through Glasgow on Saturday, the 5th of July.
Good, well, that's going to be some event, and I'm sure it's going to be a tremendous day. In terms of the public address, there's always been a question mark. Why do we have a public address? I'm going to ask you, Grandmaster, what's the main reason why we have a public address?
I think it's an important process within the parade itself, and it shows our culture, it shows our values, it shows what we actually believe in as Protestant. you know, it gives us our opportunity to proclaim our faith to our Lord and Saviour, our Christian Reformed faith. And I think it's an important part. You know, there's a lot of talk of modernisation within this institution. These are one of the core sort of values that must not, you know, be lost within the modernisation of the institution as we move forward. But it's a very, very important part to show the public more than, you know, our own members that, you know, we're here, we're proclaiming our faith to the Reformed Protestant faith itself. And, you know, it's done with hymns, it's done with prayers, and then a public speaker then comes along.
Thanks. And who is the public speaker this year, Mark?
This year, Glasgow, we have invited Jim Allister, the head of the Traditional Unionist Voice Party in Northern Ireland. Jim's a KC. He's a member of Parliament. But as the Grand Master was alluding to there regarding our services, within Glasgow we have a service of Thanksgiving before our main Boyne parade. And it's normally held within the confines of George Square. And to me, that's the best part of our day. It's a tremendous service, and those that have been there hopefully will agree. But unfortunately, Glasgow City Council have decided to renovate George Square, which is shut off. So we're going to hold it within the confines of Glasgow City Cathedral. And we're quite fortunate in Glasgow, for those that know, King Billy's statue's here. So we're going to hold a service of Thanksgiving, and then we will lay our traditional wreath-laying ceremony. Rather than at City Cenotaph will be at King William's statue. But from our platform, like the other 4 counties, we have the resolutions, and to me that's most important, because they confirm our Protestant heritage, our loyalty, and the state of the nation. They're all proposed and seconded, and to me that's very important, not just for our own members, but to the public who come to these Boyne celebrations to hear what's read out. These statements are most important, and I think that's tremendous that the public are allowed to hear these statements.
Thank you. It'd be amiss of me not to mention that not everybody's going to be happy that we're having Boyne parades or even having addresses in public about our Protestant heritage. And I know that the County Grand Lodge of Glasgow, and yourself in particular, has met with many people that we might think might be opposed to the parade. But you go around different churches and meet with certain people. I mean, just explain to the membership what you actually do there in terms of trying to build relationships.
Within the 20 districts in Glasgow, 13 of the districts pass along main arterial routes, and on those main arterial routes there's Roman Catholic churches. We're not out to offend the Roman Catholics, and we do meet with all the local parish priests, and we ask them, is there a church service on, is there a wedding on, is there a funeral on, what time, and we will try and accommodate as best as we can. We're not out to offend. I've actually met, for those that don't know, I've met with the Archbishop in Glasgow to discuss these things, and he's more than pleased for what the County Grand Lodge of Glasgow has done in the last 2 or 3 years. We're trying to break down these barriers that have been set by certain peoples and certain individuals. And slowly but surely, we're overcoming. There's only one parish priest in Glasgow that will not speak to him, to the Orange Order, and that is the church in the London Road. Other 12 priests, more than welcome us in, open, honest talks.
And Grand Master, what would you think of those that are maybe, you know, voicing their opinion that we should be banned and we should be off the streets, and even the recognition from the Scottish Government, you know, not even to sit down with us and talk to us about, you know, who we are and what we do. What's your thoughts on that?
I think, first of all, David, I think we've got to highlight the work that the County Grand Lodge of Glasgow is doing, engaging with the communities. You know, and I think the Catholic community in Glasgow needs to hear the engagement, the early engagement that the County Grand Lodge proactively goes and actually contacts the priests, the local priests, to actually acknowledge if there's any services. And I think that's a key part that needs to be acknowledged itself. I think the other key part, and there's a lot of work still to be done within, you know, the wider community, I think, to accept Orangeism and the Protestant culture itself. You know, we're in a modern Scotland, and we're always remembered by, you know, the Scottish Government. It's one Scotland, many cultures. But it doesn't seem to be applicable to us in our Reformed faith, and certainly as we wear the orange colours on the streets of Scotland to commemorate the Boyne celebrations and the Glorious Revolution itself. So, you know, I think there's still a bit of work to be done there. We're not big bad people. You know, we're here, we've got an open door policy. If we want to speak to the county Grand Masters and the executive, then I'm pretty sure that the public would welcome the public to speak to them. If there's any key stakeholders in any of the cross communities, you know, we're willing to sit down and meet with them. You know, we've even offered an initiative, you know yourself, spearheading it up, a summit where we get all the cross communities round the table on the lead up to the 4 Boyne celebrations across Scotland, and we'll iron out any difficulties or any concerns or queries. So, you know, so there is a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes, you know, and we would encourage the dialogue with different communities.
Great. And finally, Mark, what would you want to say to the membership and those visiting on the day to Glasgow? What would your message be to them? What can they look forward to in Glasgow?
As a County Grand Master, the object of our parade is to publicly witness William's victory at the Boyne, which gave us our civil and religious liberties. To show a reformed faith, that's why the Bible leads every district and every lodge. To support for our monarchy and support for the United Kingdom. And I hope that everybody and anybody that comes to Glasgow enjoys the colour, the pageantry, the history, the tradition and culture that we bring to this great city of ours.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank the Most Worthy Grand Master, Brother Andrew Murray, and the Right Worthy County Grand Master, Mark Kitland, for letting us know what's going to be happening in Glasgow at their Boyne celebration. On behalf of myself, I'd like to wish all the brethren and sisters in Glasgow all the very best for your celebrations on the day. Thank you. Many thanks go out to the 4 County Grand Masters and the Most Worthy Grand Master for sharing their experiences and thoughts on the up-and-coming Boyne parades across Scotland. Hopefully it's been beneficial to you from understanding what goes on behind the scenes to make these events so successful. I'd also like to ask you, if you're interested in joining this great institution, is click on the link that's on the page, and I'll tell you more about how to join and be part of what is our special day.